Hello everyone and welcome to the SWTOR dev stream reactions. They gave away a t-shirt which should have said I watched the SWTOR live stream and all I got was this lousy t-shirt because, you know, that was pretty much sums it up. Yeah, the big new subscriber reward announcement is that we're gonna get HK55 back as a companion. There's going to be some quests attached to it at least, so, you know, that's not too bad. Please put some raid stuff in it. Please put some raid stuff in it. You know, you've got HK47 as a Flashpoint boss. You've got HK47 as an ad in a raid. TOS, you know? That'll fuck everyone up. No, the QQ would be strong there. That's a bad idea, you know, because they have QQing that would go on. But, you know, raiders exist. Hey, BioWare. You know, scoundrels exist as well. You know, they're here. They're somewhere in the back that they've forgotten about. But anyway, what are we going to say about this live stream? Yeah, the big reward is, and also we're going to do a bonus chapter for the low price. It's about, I think it works at about 58, 59, I think it, or if you subscribe month to month in the UK, it's like £67. So between 58 and £67, you can play as HK, because you have to be subscribed from January the 11th to August the 1st, which is 7 months. Now you are going to get rewards in that period, but it is typical of EA to announce a reward. Oh, by the way, how much does HK55... That was the first thing I did in the stream, and is like, how much does this going to cost me to continuously subscribe? Not that we maybe wouldn't have continuously subscribed anyway, but they're offering this free, in inverted commas, content. You know, it's 60 quid at the end of the day you have to put down to play as HK55 for what will probably be a short chapter. Why can't we raid as HK55? Why can't we just play as HK55 permanently for that? You know, why can't we just have a... It'd probably just be like a... Hopefully it's just not a costume thing where we just become HK55 but retain all our abilities. Hopefully he has a new set of abilities. And hopefully we can play as him... Maybe if we could play as him as a subcontracted character, like we just do dailies or heroics as HK55, that would be kind of cool. But I guess it's just going to be one chapter, 60 quid, fuck off, thanks for coming. There you go. 5-minute chapter is all we're probably going to get as HK55. You know, it's EA, isn't it? It's EA, you know, nothing's free at EA. So if you're a subscriber until, I think it is January the 11th, you will get HK, I think, well, it's through February as well, you will get HK 55 as a companion. So much for story and consequences. It's funny how the first part of the thing, when they were hyping up chapter 10, which will feature Firebrand, which is not the tank from EC, it's now Kaleo for some weird reason. They never addressed that. Why is she called Firebrand? You know, because that's the tank in EC. You already have a character in the game, but it's a tank, I suppose. You already have something in-game that we were raiding tonight, doing EC, tanking it for the first time in HM, like a Big Dick Vanguard Pro. Oh, by the way, you can tank EC HM, the first 2 bosses at least, with 208 gear. Can be done. So all those people complaining about gear, I had to tank in 208 with some... I think I had 220 Mark II PCs, but that was it. You can tank it in low gear. You can tank those ops in low gear. Feel sorry for the healers, mind you, but not in a pug, obviously. I mean, a guild run, of course, but, you know, pug healers don't cleanse you or anything like that. But yeah, you can survive Incinerate armor, fine, on those tanks. Yeah, Firebrand is a character, is already a character, and now you're calling Kaleo Firebrand. Okay, so it's going to start Kaleo, chapter 10. We got a 5-second video of chapter 10. It's like, yay, she points a gun at you and says, hey. I wonder what she does with the agent. No, I'll need to finish the agent story now to see how she reacts to me sniper. And I'll have a go at that. So we're going to get Kaleo as a companion. We're also going to get Bodar as a companion. Bodar, or whatever his name is. The Wookiee and the Scoundrel story. You're going to get him as a companion. He was useless as a tank. To be honest, useless companion as a tank, the Wookiee companion. I suppose it fit in thematically as a smuggler with the Wookiee companion, but Never used Bulldog. I never ever used him because he was always useless. Corso was kind of useless as well, but you know, you kind of stuck around with Corso because he was the first companion you got, and you had already geared them a bit by then, so you just kind of stuck with Corso. Yeah, never really used the Wiki companion, to be honest. I wonder if anyone used it. I don't know. I mean, I guess it's cosmetic. If you want a Wookiee companion now, companions are cosmetics, essentially, these days. But yeah, so much for the story having consequences, you know? At least we're going to get a quest to rebuild HK55. You know, your decisions will have consequences, you know? And we'll just... If there's a character that's popular, we'll bend over to the community and bring him back, you know? I liked HK55 in the story. I did, I really liked him, but, you know, do we want him to come back just like that? You know, it kind of cheapens his death. It's death, it's a droid. It kind of cheapens HK55's death, obviously. Spoiler alert! If you're watching this, I imagine you'll know that HK55 snuffs it as well. So yeah, I mean, I don't know why they're going to bring him back. Why bring him back at all, you know? At least bring him back later on. Maybe make it a surprise when he comes back. But now they've announced it in advance. It's like, okay. You know, if we QQ about Mar often enough, they'll bring back Darth Mar. Although he is dead, he is a Force ghost. But, you know, it didn't stop. You know, we killed the Emperor and he came back. And we killed Kefis, you know, and he came back. And we killed Malgus and he was in a cutscene in 4.0 as well. So in one of the early reveals for 4.0, Malgus was around, so I imagine Malgus will be coming around at some point. So you know, it doesn't mean anything that a character's dead in SWTOR. If we QQ hard enough, we'll get Darth Mar back. Interestingly, I'm keeping Darth Mar on my Guardian. I just did chapter 1 and thought, I'm just exiting. Nah, I ain't doing it. They're not going to do Knights of the Fallen Empire. It's not a crafting alt, it's just a slicer alt, so, you know, he's fairly easy, just collects cash, really. So, you know, Darth Mar, we'll just keep him. We'll just keep him. That'll be our only companion. But companions are cosmetic anyway, so who cares? We are losing Kira, though. That is a consequence. But it's going to be a bromance with Darth Mar. A big bromance with your Sith bro, Darth Mar, you know, running around the galaxy. But yeah, I was just checking Twitter at the end of this. Quite funny, the reactions. You know, it's quite funny, a lot of the reaction. Disappointment has got to be the biggest thing. I mean, you weren't really expecting much. They did go through chapter 10 for a little bit, and, you know, we got... Do we care about HK55? Are we going to stay subscribed? If you subscribe every month, you're going to get a different reward, I guess. I don't know what the rewards are going to be. They haven't revealed it. We're getting HK55 as a companion if you're a subscriber, so I guess it'll be subscriber exclusive. But then again, if you're not a subscriber, you don't have access to Knights of the Fallen Empire, so do you really care? You don't know who HK55 is, probably, you know, so why would you care? It's not an incentive, really, for non-subscribers. It kind of gives away a spoiler, then, to non-subscribers. I don't really think it incentivizes anyone to subscribe. And the same with playing as HK55. I don't think is a huge incentive. If you could play as Kefis, on the other hand, there'd be people lining up around the block to play it. You know, the website would have been inundated if they'd announced a Kefis companion. Their website would have melted with the amount of people. All the servers would have been full. There'd have been queues to log in. They just announced a Kefis companion. At least they didn't announce something like the crossguard lightsaber, which a lot of people thought they were going to get. You know, a lot of people thought they were going to get that. You were going to get that crossguard lightsaber from episode 7, but nothing like that, man. I kind of half expected a Darth Vader outfit as well, maybe to get announced as a subscriber reward, you know, just because episode 7 is coming out this month. It's December 1st today, so this video will probably go up December 2nd. But yeah, there you go. It was worth staying up for the dev live stream. Not really. They love to blow their own trumpet, really, essentially. And they do listen to feedback. But why don't we have dual spec in the game? That's the question. You listen to feedback, yet we don't have dual spec. Nightmare loot is still broken as well in the operations. At least Califeris, at least they fixed that. Well, they fixed it in hard mode. He gives you the proper gear, but you know, I don't know if it's still in story mode. He still gives you the Arcanian relic. You want the Arcanian relic? You want a 1/6 162? Was 162 Arcane? Yeah, 162 was Arcane. You want a 162 Relic? I mean, you know, kind of fun. And Black Market gear as well, even better. Although they did nerf his mechanics, really, to the point where he's just simple fight. So, you know, that's an interesting one. An interesting one for the future there with Califaris. So, yeah, no bug fixes as well that they got. But, you know, what else can we say about this stream? It was the arena thing, I thought was going to be a PvP thing. So, oh, yeah, PvP arena. We can maybe go and spectate. No, it's just Horde mode. It's just boss rush mode, essentially. It's a version of boss rush mode. Which should be fun as a scoundrel. It'll be quite fun. Self-healing. Sages are going to be overpowered in that as well, because, you know, they can just bubble, take no damage. You know, you ever tried to kill a sage in PvP? God, it's like hitting a brick wall. It's like getting your flaccid penis and beating a brick wall with it, trying to knock down a brick wall with that. That's like trying to kill a sage. I did my whole Vanguard rotation with the auto crit cell burst, and the sage just walked away with 90% health. Didn't even attack. Sage healer didn't even attack me. And it's like, I didn't have the heart to go pursue them. I was like, no. No. No, my auto crit cell burst. I was like, I could have pulled back in, but it's like, no. I'm too sad. Too sad to do that. I was just too sad to even bother fighting a sage healer in PvP these days. So class balance, totally gone. They're not. I don't know what they'll do. They'll probably just nerf everything, I guess. But there we go. That is pretty much it for the live stream video. There you go. Are you going to stay subscribed? Is it going to motivate you to subscribe? Are you going to pay that £60? What is that? How much is that in dollars? In US dollars, it's what, about, say $90 or something like that. It's what, $15.99 per month. I'll go work that out for you. I'll work it out for you. Bear in mind there are discounts for subscribing, so it's what is it? $14.99 times. I can't be bothered doing maths at night. It's $104.93 for your HK playable. I'm sure you can get it cheaper because you can subscribe for like 3 and 6 months and you get discounts. So we'll say $100, right? We'll say $90 to $100 if you want, you know, an HK 51 questline. You are going to also get the chapters, we should point out in that. But it is, you know, this free gift that we're getting that you have to pay for because EA don't give you nothing for free in a free-to-play game. You should point out that out. But anyway, that is all for this video, so thank you for joining me, and we'll see you again soon, and goodbye.